can see a few boats up at the other ramp on the south side, which this time of year there's bound to be. I mean, it's spotty central this time of year here at Palmy. Hit or miss so far, but just the days when they have been on, the guys have absolutely killed it. That's the funny part with fishing this time of year. You never know. I mean, you can come out and absolutely bag out, or you can come out and just donut, and I've managed to do the latter the last couple times I've come out. Not donut totally, but not come and get what I'm after, which is the goal this morning. That is the goal. Hopefully they're on. Currumbin on a low tide. Look at this. It's easy on a ski, but geez, on a boat I would not like to be coming out here. Skis are just so easy for this type of thing. It's so nippy to just squeeze out between a few of the sets and you're out, whereas on a boat, I don't know, I'd rather go out the seaway and come all the way down. But the goal is there's generally a bit of a bank that runs over in a bit of an S straight out to sea here, so just going to wait for the sets to calm down a little, and I'll be out. All right, here we go. So this morning I'm going to trawl some dead baits. I'm not a big fan of trawling dead baits, but I managed to get those really nice slimies the other day. So definitely going to get them out. And also, I mean, the conditions this morning are supposed to be pretty windy. It's not too bad now, but it definitely will kick up. So not a big fan of trawling liveys around in conditions like that. I mean, it takes you forever to cover ground, and a lot of the time the liveys end up dying. So just going to cover a bit of ground with the dead baits this morning, see how we go. I'll always have a live bait jigger me ready to go. I will have that out, and if we come across any good schools I'll drop down and get a few, and then the goal is that I'll hopefully won't have to bother with them, but the dead baits aren't treating me too well. I'll chuck a few liveys on and put them through their paces. So those are the dead baits I'm running this morning. That is absolutely prime. Right, so he's ready to go. Alright, let's get trawling. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a decent fish. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. That screamed off. It's so good to hear a mackerel scream off like that. Oh, mate. Try keep the rod down to not alert any of the other boats, because everyone comes flocking over like seagulls here at Palmy. Then I'm just going to stay into the wind here because it's very, very, very important to keep the pressure on these fish. That was interesting. There was nothing crazy on the sounder, and I just came to a few spots here a little bit wider of the main reef. Everyone's sitting in real close. Lighten up the drag a little. Hopefully I found them. If that is the case, found them a little bit wider here, and hopefully no one comes around the spot, because that would be ideal, mate. Absolutely ideal. It's coming up quick. Lightening up the drag here. That's a good fish. Oh no, it's a good spot. All right. Man. Good little spotty to start the morning. How good is that? Woohoo! Yeah, boy! How good is that, brother? It's not even 4:30 a.m. Oh, how good is mackerel fishing, mate? Where are we? They're good spotties here. Hey, that's a D spotty. That is what is up, boys. All right, here we go, round two. I said I'm probably not going to bother much with bait this morning, but I've just crossed a massive bait school, and I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time working this area, but I'm going to drop down just to see what they are, and if it is anything decent, I'm going to have to put some larvies on, I think. Definitely stuff here. Yeah, there's definitely stuff here. Look at that. to have to do it. There's a lot of bait here, and there's some big marks on the sounder, so I'm going to get some liveys on and see if we can get any luck that way. The bite's gone very slow here. I mean, I only had that one this morning, and literally nothing else after that, so I'm just going to put some liveys on and see how that goes. Absolute stack of bait here. Probably got enough bait I need for the morning, but I really can't help myself when it is that thick. Yeah, look at that. Big yakkers. I found a super solid bait school just here. I've got a couple of larvies there in the well, a couple of slimies. So I'm just going to work this bait school really well. The thing when you find a bait school like this is spend time with it. I know a lot of guys do it, and I was guilty of doing it. When you first start fishing, I mean, you pick up a whole lot of larvies off the bait school. You put them in the tank and you head off to another spot where you have no idea whether there's bait or not. If you are somewhere where there is bait, and where you know there's good baits, I mean, if they're not small yakkers or anything like that, I mean, if it's decent sized bait, it's really best to just stick with it, work it really well, and yeah, and see what happens. And then, I mean, if you work it for half an hour and nothing's on it, then fine, move on. But if something's on it, you're going to know pretty quick, and it's better actually spending the time in the zone where you know there is bait and you know there could be fish, rather than picking up and heading off to somewhere where you haven't been yet and you have no idea about the current or whether there's bait holding on the spot or whatever it might be. So yeah, I mean, intellect is really everything with this stuff. You have to spend a lot of time knowing, you know, what works, what doesn't work, why it doesn't work. And I mean, it's still a massive guessing game for most of us out here, but for most of us weekend warriors like myself anyway. So I'll tell you what, I'm stoked I got that early spotty, because it's been quiet as anything. So I'm just coming over that bait now. So we'll see what happens. There's yeah, there's a few marks. I've got a big slimy down low, so hoping for a big Spanish. I mean, a big Spanish would be an awesome end to the morning. So we'll see how we go. Wowee, that screamed off. That absolutely screamed off. Check that off. I was just about to call it a morning. Alright guys, I think that's going to be about it for me this morning. Really a good example there for working the bait school well. I knew there would be something on that bait school. There was really good bait there. Probably took about an hour to get that second spotty bite, but I could probably get a couple more, but 2 spotties is enough for me and the family. Very happy with those 2 spots. 2 really good size spotties. The spotty size this year has been awesome. It's been really, really good. Good to get some of my own. Loaded for me, I'm going to shoot in now. But yeah, I'm sure I'll be out in not too long, but productive session on Palm Beach.